All right, Hunter, week off. Tough opponent this week coming in Saturday. Just how'd you guys use the week off and what's cooking for this week?
We used the week off just to didn't do any practice on the field. So we came out this morning. We were very rusty. We did a lot of weights, stayed in condition, ran them 4 days last week as well. Just keep them in shape. It's hard to, as we found through the year, it's been hard to keep them motivated to practice, especially with the very limited numbers we have due to the virus and guys being quarantined and isolated. So we just decided to work them out, run them, keep them in shape. And we knew today it'd be a little rusty with putting in some new things. With the opponent that we're facing, Missouri Western, they are MIAA, heck of an opponent. They were 8-3 last year. They're a playoff caliber team. It's the type of team we wanted to play in this situation this late in the year to understand what we have to do to get where we eventually want to get. And these are the type of teams that we'll play in the playoffs when we get there. So I think the opponent, for everybody out there that's not familiar with Missouri Western, they're going to come in with an extremely talented defense. They've got a lot of very good athletes, especially in the front seven. Their linebackers are men. They will come and they will hit you and they can run. Offensively, they run offensive coordinator is a guy that I've been with in Pueblo, and Coach Morris knows real well. He runs a pistol offense. He is I don't want to say deceptive trick play wise, but the offense makes you be really fundamentally sound on what you do with the way they move guys in front. Take a tight end, and the pistol gives some issues with they can run either side. In comparison, when the back's on one side or the other, they're kind of limiting themselves on how they want to run. So it'd be a great challenge for us. It'd be a great game to come to for our fans, and we're excited to be hosting a team of this caliber coming in to play us. Excited about it.
It's been a very unusual year in so many ways. And, this is the second time this year you've come off a layoff coming in 2 weeks, you had 3 weeks before that. You found there's any sort of trick to dealing with that sort of thing, getting your team ready? I know you said you didn't practice last week. What sort of thing do you think is the best way to deal with not having that kind of lag between games?
I think it's been a play-by-ear type of deal. When our game was canceled against Abilene, we didn't know it was going to be canceled, so it kind of snuck up on us. And we knew this was going to be an off week for us, and tried to fill the date just so we could keep continuity going amongst us. But last time it happened, we wanted to make it fun, wanted to compete. This time, I really wanted to have more of a, let's get to work and let's let everybody get in the weight room and build a little strength, maintain some stamina by running, instead of just going out and trying to make the most of it. You got to understand that we before we played North American, we did not touch the field one time due to the weather and the field conditions not being cleared for us. So we were in the gym doing walkthroughs. So other than playing North American, we hadn't been on the field in a practice situation in 3 weeks. So, it's our first time, so we will expect a little rust. And again, a lot of guys still quarantined or isolated because they're overcoming their 14 days or 10 days and return to play protocol. We should have everybody back hopefully by Friday. And, to me, that's an issue. Is I talked to a guy this morning who was quarantined for 10 days, and I said, "What'd you do for these 10 days?" He said, "Just caught up on homework." I said, "You do any running? Do any?" No. And that's what scares me is if a guy comes back and we try to play him on Saturday, is he going to be ready to play on Saturday? Not from a mental standpoint, but from a physical standpoint, where they've had 14 or 10 days off to come back. So that's what we're fighting, and that's what trying to get those guys back here as early as possible so they can get a little bit of conditioning in. And then we got to find a place to house them. The university is dealing with some issues with the virus, and they're taking care of that. These guys had elected to go home, and might be Hotel Hughes at my place for 2 2 nights to get them here because they've got a test on Wednesday, and some of them's isolation is not over with, and they cannot come back to campus until Thursday or Friday. So we're going to test them to play on Saturday, and I'm either going to put them in my house or me get a hotel or get them a hotel and make sure that they're doing the right things that we need to do to be ready to play.
What are some things that you've seen from Missouri Western on tape that might be doing a little bit different this year than they did last year?
Well, their offensive line is different. I think that's the number one thing. I think they lost all five of them last year, and they were really good last year, really good. And they're still good this year. They're just in their second game playing, and they've been hit by some COVID people sitting out as well. So I don't think we've seen their entire team out there yet. Where we didn't have that issue our first game or our second game, and so they're dealing with some of the things that we're dealing with, that everybody's dealing with right now. So I expect them to. They still play hard, just like they did last year. They're going to come out. They're going to be fundamentally sound. They're going to come after us both offensively and defensively. They're going to attack. They're going to find our weaknesses and attack them on both sides. And our players have to be ready. And again, like I said, this is the type of team we want to be playing, because it's the type of team that hopefully will be playing in the playoffs in the future.
Your familiarity with the coaching staff and with the offense, do you think that kind of gives you an edge to finding their weaknesses, since you know their offense, since you coach with them?
He's just as familiar with our defense, so I mean, whatever edge I have, or is wiped out by the edge he has. So we competed against each other for 2 years, and him being the offensive coordinator and me being the defense coordinator. So in practice, there's a type of things where one day the offense wins, one day the defense wins, and you regroup and you make yourself better. And, tendency-wise, I go with what I've seen so far this year, and that's what our coaching staffs are doing. So familiarity, because there are some things that I've dealt with before in the past, just like he's dealt with before in the past with our movement, what we do on defense. So I think it washes out. I'd like to think that we have an advantage, but you see the players that they're playing with. I'd give them a little slight advantage over us right now. We're going to have to play again fundamentally sound. We're going to have to be smart. We're going to have to ride the ball on defense in order to stop them.
What changes with Coach Martin returning to play calling duties, or does anything change at all for you on the offensive side of the ball?
I don't think it changes very much. I think that those offensive coaches are on the same page, and with what they're doing. And I think that showed in the last couple of weeks with Coach Bassett having to call the offense. I think where it's going to help us is with Nick. I think Nick is used to having Coach Martin in his ear and telling him what he can, the possibilities and what mistakes he made and things he might have missed. So I think that's going to help Nick immensely coming back, Coach Martin coming back. So I think the continuity is there on our offensive side. It's just Nick having his coach back, his quarterback coach that he can talk to, and he sees things the way Nick does. So